Now he joins us on set here at Media Day. David, congratulations on almost 1,000 games in the NHL and reaching your first Stanley Cup. It's been a long wait for most people between Eastern Conference Final and Game 1, but for you, that wait seems to have been even more so. What's it finally like now that it's here, you're heading to the Stanley Cup Final?
Well, it kind of got broke up for me a little bit. We were watching the Western Conference Final, see who our opponent was going to be. Once we had our opponent, a couple days off, a little prep for it. We had our inter-squad scrimmage, and now it's just kind of been getting the logistics of family coming in and who's going to be watching. Now that's behind us, and now we get to do this grandiose media day and then get to real action tomorrow finally.
Becky, I'll ask you, and you can put this out of our conversation finally, because you're going to be getting asked this about 100 times. Blues, captain of that team, captain of that franchise. What were your emotions or feelings once this was kind of the dust was settling in the West?
Yeah, I think once the conference finals were set, it was, there's still a lot of variables that could happen to see if this is going to be, playing your old team for the Stanley Cup. But once we had swept Carolina, and then it was watched the San Jose, St. Louis series, and when they were the 5-0 game where seemingly all of San Jose was getting hurt, I was like, this is for sure happening. And after game 6, it was like that night I didn't sleep very well. It was a lot of emotions of now it's us or it's them, and a lot of friends still on that team. But sent them a congratulatory text and then said, this is the last you're going to hear from me, because we're playing for keeps and we're playing for whatever kid dreams of, a Stanley Cup here.
What's the best part for you about being a member of the Boston Bruins and playing here in this great sports city from your experience?
Just the whole encompassing, they're renaming it Titletown seemingly, of the duck boats are needing regular scheduled maintenance on more frequent occasions, and it's just an awesome town. And when you can have the success that the teams have had, the fans are incredible, and just something you embrace, and really made ourselves a part of it.
You wore the C in St. Louis for 5 years, so guys coming up to you, looking to you for advice, and then you have a veteran presence here in Boston inside that dressing room as well. But being at your first trip to the Stanley Cup Final, did you lean on some of the other guys inside that room as far as advice of, hey, what's this process like? Whether it be media day or just dealing with family ticket requests, did you lean on other guys in a situation like this that's unfamiliar to you?
Yeah, the guys that have been here before, some of them multiple times, the Krejci, Bergeron, Marchand, Rask, Chara. A lot of people forget Joachim Nordstrom winning a cup in Chicago. But those guys have been huge. They've been warning us about some of the pitfalls and getting too wrapped up in all the, people that come out of seemingly the sky of requests at times, and then also things like this is media day. That's the day before. We've had 10 days where we could have done one of these a day, and now we're going to slam them all in the day before we're going to play for keeps. But preparation for this, knowing what kind of mindset we need and how intense every shift's going to be, because it is for the ultimate prize, and we're at the pinnacle of the game right now.
The one thing that I had to learn in my career was it's about contributing every night. And some nights that looks different. Some seasons that looks different. Some seasons of your career it looks different. I'd love to hear what you have to say about that, because you're a guy that has contributed, whether it's on the scoreboard, physically, those things, and maybe even more so this year. What is that struggle like for the kid at home? I think it's always, you talk about to kids, you just want to contribute to your team's success each night.
You do, and that's what's great about this game, is that it's a team game, and you can't all be 50 goal scorers and the guy putting the puck in the net. Sometimes you need a guy that's going to go ruffle some feathers or go soften up some defensemen or win a face-off or kill penalties, and that's something I've had to learn over the years too, getting a feel for the game my first couple years. Then you're a captain, you kind of get to see, especially with Hitch, you're having meetings every day about what needs to be done and things you never even thought about that he's emphasizing, and now you're like, okay, what hole can I fill, what thing can I take off of a guy like Patrice Bergeron's plate so that he can go out there and do what he does so well, or Brad Marchand or David Krejci. And those guys are great leaders, great players, but trying to support them in any way I can. And you're right, some of that's not very glamorous, or you don't get the glory, but in the end the glory is winning games and winning enough games to get to this point and 4 more to get to the Stanley Cup and have that thing in your house.
Well said. You've very well said. Sorry, you've touched on this about off camera about how tight the room is here with this team in your group. At what point this season did you guys, having been able to overcome all those injuries and all that adversity, did you guys feel like, hey, we got something cooking here, we like our squad?
You go on a couple runs where you're feeling it, and you're like, oh, it doesn't matter who we're playing in the next night. You don't even look ahead, and you just say, we're laying our game out there, and when we do that, we're a very tough team to beat. And you put together a long streak, and you go, you know what, this group could, do some real damage in the playoffs or wherever it is that, you just need. And you do need the pieces to kind of align. You need a goaltender that's playing well above average. You need some injury luck. Maybe you need a call here and there. You need a team that's ready for adversity and able to face it head on and be able to, persevere and get through it. And when I saw some of the things, the injuries of a lot of key players at once, and we're able to still win games and bind together and, next man up, and guys that have maybe not even played in the playoffs, but guys that were in the minors that were able to give us a boost. To me, that was, we've got the depth, we've got the ability, you got Tuukka and Nets. If the stars could align, and we could be in a very good spot here.
I just want to know if you've ever scrimmaged in front of 18,000 fans prior to Thursday night. What was that like?
That was insane, and I thought, okay, it's cool. I'm all for charity. I love the philanthropic part of life and helping out other people. So the Bruins Foundation was able to benefit from that. But I'm like, you know what? This is right before the Cup Finals. We're going to have enough incentive to get going. And now I'm like, I know how this works. Somebody's going to toe drag somebody, and they're going to get their panties in a bunch. And then that guy's going to go harder against someone else, and that's probably going to be me. And then I'm going to get embarrassed in front of 18,000 people, and then I'm going to want to hit somebody, and then someone's going to get hurt, and that's all because of this. But it didn't happen. Everyone got through there unscathed. We were able to get our feet wet in a little bit higher tempo, get a regular shift out there, and it ended up being a great evening.
All right, so for anybody out there, Bees Nation, worrying about these guys losing their competitive edge in the 10 days off, I think he summed it up. It's right where it needs to be. David, thank you so much for stopping by. Enjoy your first trip to the Stanley Cup Final. We look forward to seeing you guys play throughout.
Thanks for having me, man.